15 a.m. Wherever you guys are tuning in, if you're catching this live, I appreciate you. This is Johnny. As you do your check-ins, I'm going to just go over this live. Guys, while I was going to bed last night, I'm an early riser. I get up every morning around 4:45 a.m., 5 a.m., and then I try to go to bed. I'm an old head. You guys are going to think I'm a nerd. I don't care. I try to go to bed between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m., right? So right when I'm getting ready for bed, I'm shutting everything down. I start getting these notifications, one after another. The first one was Francisco Rodriguez, and I already posted it on our YouTube group. If you guys are unaware, go to the YouTube page. There's a post section, so I keep everybody up to date, kind of like a news ticker, what's going on. And Francisco Rodriguez failed a drug test against Galal Yafai. So this has a lot of legs to it, right? I posted. I went to bed seeing how that was going to simmer. I put it in our Facebook group, put it on my Instagram, and yeah, he failed a drug test. And guys, I can't remember another time. And if you guys were following my channel, I was live streaming that fight, and I was saying it while I was watching it. I had done weeks of tape on Francisco Rodriguez. We talked about his career. We talked about him being long in the tooth, even though he was 32. And I was like, I'm not going to be surprised if this dude pops. I mean, I wasn't the only one saying it, you know, and when this news comes out, it's so messed up to say that I wasn't surprised. It is so complex, though, because we'll get to the minuscule bit. I had a 13-leg parlay that was working saucy. I hit a 13-leg parlay. It was going to pay huge, and the only loss on that was the goddamn Galal Yafai loss. So my parlay got starched. That affected me. I'm crying. Here's me boo-booing. I was salty. I was like, how did I get this wrong, man? I thought Galal Yafai was... And Yafai got beat up. Okay, forget about me. My parlay got toast, right? Whatever. Galal Yafai gets beat up for the entire fight. Now we have to talk about the health of the fighter. And even if the fight gets overturned, even if the decision gets overturned, even if Rodriguez gets suspended, Galal Yafai has damage. I mean, we can never measure the long-lasting effects. Hopefully, he doesn't have any long-lasting effects. But if you watch that fight, I think Rodriguez threw over 1,000 punches. I'd like to see what he landed with. It was insane. Rodriguez's output in the very last round was just like it was in the first round. People were saying when it was happening that this could have been the case. And more importantly, guys, I told you before the fight, there was this mysterious fight that Rodriguez had in Texas right before that they tried to expunge. It was an 8-rounder that Rodriguez won, but then the decision got overturned. And usually when decisions get overturned, it's when a fighter loses. He had won it, and it didn't go public. Everyone's like, why the hell did Rodriguez? Why did that get overturned in Texas? You know what I mean? And so now you have, turning the page. Now you have to say, Eddie Reynoso, mate, what is going on? And I'll just leave it at that. You guys can say whatever you want. You can defend whatever you want. The facts are the facts. The stats are the stats. History books are written for a reason. Look it up. Look how many fighters in recent memory, if not in that camp, are connected to that camp either before they fought with him or after they fought with him. Just because Ryan popped when he was with Derek, all these sort of... Look how many fighters are connected to Eddie Reynoso who pop. It's insane. And then I thought I was ready to go to bed. I thought I was all right. I get a notification 10 minutes later last night about Imam Kativ. Now, the reason why that affects us directly is because one of my locks of the week going into this weekend was Morel over Kativ. Now, I have the website up right now. I just watched an interview with David Morel, and Morel says that he doesn't care. He says that Morel says that he's still going to fight Imam Kativ. And Kativ popped dirty in 2024. He was given a 2-year ban, and then he popped dirty again after Derval Palacio, the fight in Australia. So all in all, our sport needs some cleaning up to do. Tony Harrison. I just saw the Tony Harrison sign. All right, that's about 5 minutes of a rant. I can connect with you guys now. What's up, everybody? I'm just reading these comments now. I had to get that out. If you guys haven't seen my uploads on the channel under my playlist Fight Prediction, you can see the breakdowns, analysis, and prediction, the edited versions of all the fights this weekend. Kativ was juicy. Yep, I know. Did they take the fight off? Let's see. Guys, let's open up our sports book real quick. Because Landslide said that they took the fight off. I'm going to be salty if they did. Yeah, I don't see it. Same. I don't see it. I don't see it. They must have took it off. Insane. Insane. I mean, are they going to give me my money back? Yeah, so my sports bet app actually refunded me the bet. Yeah, IBA. It wasn't the IBA though. It was the ITA. Did you guys see that? It was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the IBA or the IKA. Check that out. I was reading the article. I shared the article in our group. I'm not sure it was the IBA. This is it. Yeah, he tested with the ITA, which is the International Testing Agency. So, guys, it wasn't a sanctioning body. It wasn't the WBC, WBA, WBO, or IBA. It was one of these international testing agencies. And I shared this article. If you guys want to read that article, it's in the group. Go to posts. You'll see I linked it. I'm going to have to do a little bit of rearranging with my locks of the week. But, guys, a little bit of breaking info for the channel. I do have a new feature on my channel. If you see it in these comments, some of the boys have certain icons. That means that they subscribed to my insider group. So it's a small monthly fee. I think it's maybe a couple bucks a month. You subscribe to it, you become a Johnny Says Boxing Insider, and then you get special features, new releases, individual videos, and I'm going to be putting, moving forward, my locks of the week. I'll still be putting my parlays up, my long parlays up for everybody, but a little bit of an add-on. In that VIP group, you'll be getting the lock of the week, and I'm going to have to give you a new lock of the week because I love the Kativ to get stopped against Morel, and now it looks like that fight's not going down. So we'll scramble, and we'll get it done. It's no option for me to join inside. Hey, guys, Goat, could you tell DJ how to do it? Because, DJ, I learned that this was a feature from Boxing Fan on our page. So, if you're here, how did you find that option? DJ, I think it's if you go to subscribe if on my page, I think it's an option there. You know, I know this is only a couple weeks away, but they got props, Pacheco Macumbi. I got to be honest with you, Eister. I'm not sure if I like that matchup. Pacheco versus Macumbi. I'm kind of hesitant to bet on that. You know, Goat is a man of his word. I think Goat will help you out, DJ. Or, guys, if anybody's on the stream who have subscribed to the VIP Insider, could you let DJ know how you found it? It's crazy that I don't know. YouTube sent me an email. I guess if you go to join or subscribe, you'll see an option that says join Insider or subscribe to Johnny Boxing Insider, that sort of thing. So the odds on Puello and Matias haven't changed. Berlanga Shiraz haven't changed. Shakur Zepeda haven't changed. Katie Taylor, Daniel Vega. What's up, buddy? So, appreciate you, Vega. I see that Daniel just did it, too. I appreciate you. So, guys, the odds on the Katie Taylor fight are changing. Serrano is a little bit of a bigger of a favorite. I already got action on that fight. And I like Taylor is the dog now. Yeah, I think I got a couple days ago, I took Amanda at $1.84. She's $1.64 now. And what do you guys feel about Metcalf? Does anybody see Sharita Metcalf beating Sharnika? Because I'm not saying that's a lock, but if you want to... Favorite, what's up, Gasville? Favorite parlay of the week is Berlanga money line, Serrano distance, Alicia 1 knockdown, Shakur money line. I don't mind that. It's similar to one I had. I don't mind that at all. That's a decent bet. Okay, guys, my sports bet app took the Kativ Morel fight off, but it didn't void my bet. Yeah, Ellie Scottney versus Mercado. I don't think Mercado's that good. I'm not betting on all the girl fights, guys. I got to be honest with you. I'm betting on 2 of the girl fights. One of the bets is a serious bet, meaning that it's part of my heavy bets. I'm taking Serrano on the money line. And I am taking Metcalf by upset, but I'm only sprinkling a little bit on it. Just, you know, guys, just to make the fight more interesting. Sometimes you put a little bit on a fight just to I kind of tend to do that with the UFC too. Just to keep me kind of in tune with what's going on. I'll throw $25 on an underdog, watch the fight. $25 on Sharita Metcalf gets you your money back plus 100. Yeah, so I got that bet. DK has Morel stoppage. I have Morel by stoppage at $1.72 right now. And they didn't cancel my bet yet. So that's good. So my parlay is, my method of victory parlay that's still live is Morel by stoppage, the Puello and Matias fight to go the distance at $1.80. Stevenson to win by points at $1.50. Berlanga and Shiraz not to go the distance. So yeah, right now that's still active. I'm kind of, Gasville, I'm kind of staying away from, I don't like the main event. Give me 1 second. Isn't the main event the big boys? Curtis Blades, right? Or no? Am I tripping? Is it Curtis Blades? Oh, no, it's Poirier. No, it is Derek Lewis. Yeah, I don't bet on Derek Lewis. I told the story earlier in the week on a live stream. I think it was 2015 was the last time I bet on Derek Lewis when he fought Mark Hunt. And I was like, no more Derek Lewis. I have certain fighters I don't bet on. Some of the boys know what boxers I don't bet on. And some UFC fighters, I don't bet on Curtis Blades. I don't bet on Derek Lewis. Crowder versus Popka. Taliesin. I don't mind that bet. I do like, dude, Steve Garcia versus Calvin Kattar is a fun fight. Morgan Charrier versus Landwehr is a fun fight. I can't believe Austin Lane's still in the UFC. That dude just gets murked every time he fights. FanDuel has a pro box fights. Guys, are you getting options for those pro box fights? I know that Lester Martinez got pulled and somebody got elevated to the main event. The main event's still actually not that bad. I was looking at the pro box card, and who's in the main event now? Is it Badillo Zapata? Is that the main event? Or Vladimir Hernandez? Is Vladimir Hernandez fighting in the main event? Versus Varen? We'll see. He definitely is DJ. Guys, wherever you're tuning in, just like this video. If you haven't already, subscribe. Moneyline, Berlanga, Moneyline, Shakur. Ooh, Gasfield's going sneaky cross sport parlays. I like it. Hey, Gasfield, if you want me to share your parlays, mate, because I don't recognize you in the chat. If you want me to share the parlay on my channel, could you comment in one of the posts or on one of my videos and at me and then list your parlay, and then I'll screenshot it and share it on my page. That's what I do for some of the boys who want to put their parlays out there, as well as we have a running kind of sort of receipts on them. Puello Matias go the distance. I love that bet. A money line not down. Vladimir Hernandez Barrett is going to go the distance. Eister, are you getting action? David, are you getting action on the pro box card? Because I think I'm going to roll. I think it was DJ. I don't know if it was DJ Green last week. somebody, we had a slow week, and somebody commented going into the weekend last week. They were like, I've already won. I'm staying away from these fights this week. That's my biggest win. So I'm betting on fights, but I'm not betting on all the fights. Joseph Peters, what's your lock of the week? Just to it, Peters. So you got to give me a couple days, because we got some breaking news. We think that Morel fight is off. Morel versus Kativ was my lock of the week. What's up, History Vault? I'm hearing this. Yeah, guys, History Vault's bringing up a point, and think about this, guys. The one thing that you could always sort of expect on my channel, whether it's my videos or my live streams, is that I'm never going to run with a mainstream boxing narrative. Look at all the other big platforms. They ran with the shrinking ring. They ran with Turkey. They ran with calling Shakur a runner, blah, blah, blah. All you have to do is understand the New York Athletic Commission. Guys, the New York Athletic Commission wouldn't allow cage fighting up until a couple years ago. You think the New York Athletic Commission, the NYSAC, was going to let a shrinking ring happen? And Turkey doesn't have the power to do that. Turkey's out of his mind. So I was never buying the whole mechanical ring idea. Hamza versus Berlanga. I broke that down ad nauseum. If you want to see my breakdown and prediction of Hamza versus Shiraz, or Hamza versus Berlanga, it's on my playlist, Fight Prediction. $100 to win 345. So yeah, if you guys are just tapping in, go to your book and see if they took the Morel fight off of your book. I mean, this isn't supposed to sound controversial, but I think the biggest lock of the week, Kane, I think you just go to where it says subscribe. Maybe update your app. Guys, if you're struggling to subscribe to the VIP section, it's only a couple bucks a month. Either upload your app, or when it says subscribe, you'll find an option to say join. Guys, I think the lock of the week is Shakur versus Zepeda, the fight to go the distance. I mean, if we're thinking about a safe pick, Shakur versus Zepeda, the fight to go the distance, $1.40. I mean, you could add something nice to that. It's still on DK. Morel said he wants the fight. From what I just heard going on before I went live. Yeah, right before I went live, guys, if you're confused on what we're talking about, Kativ allegedly on a 2-year ban for popping dirty for Clomid. And one of you boys last night on our last live stream, we were talking about Clomid. Clomid is an anti-estrogen drug hormone that is on the banned PED list because athletes, a lot of bodybuilders will take it to prevent bitch tits, lack of better terms. What is it called? Gynecomastia? Basically male breasts. And so you take Clomid to sort of prohibit that from happening. And they use it as a red flag in fighters, be like, hey, bro, what are you taking Clomid for? And so I think this is what Alberto Puello popped for a couple years ago. And his excuse was that him and his wife were trying to have a kid. And I don't know how that ever got cleared up. I think it just disappeared. But this is what Kativ popped for as well. Clomid, clomazepine. But in my day, it was called Clomid. And growing up in gyms and on sports teams, I think people would throw steroids in my face my whole upbringing. So I'm anti-steroid, if you didn't know. Even in the strength community, I grew up around guys, not even athletes, dudes who didn't even play sports, who weren't even athletic, weren't even bodybuilders, who would just take steroids because they were weak-minded. And so I always looked at, I'm not going to judge athletes who take it to cheat. You know how I feel about that. The general population who take it just for vanity, you know how I feel about that. So especially when a guy like Francisco Rodriguez, who has that performance in a blood sport and a combat sport, a sport where people could die, beats the shit out of Gauloya 5 in a way that, it was noticeable, and then he pops dirty, man. I'm talking like, Am I off base for saying criminal charges? Like this rings a little bit like fucking the Tijuana tornado to me. I don't know why this. I don't know why this. Maybe it's because I lost my parlay. maybe because I lost my 13-leg parlay. The only fight I lost was Galal. I'm still salty about it. And I got fucking cooked in the comments section for it. And then I find out Rodriguez popped dirty. But this kind of, for me, it's almost adjacent to Margarito. Only because, you know, I know Margarito was wrapping the hands and it was a bit different. But in terms of the damage he put on, I think, you know, Galal got that ass beat. I remember Cotto was sitting in his corner the first time. It was like, I don't know what he's hitting me with. I don't know what he's hitting me with. After the third round, his face was all effed up. And I look at that beat up, you know, and, you know, Cotto ended up getting his get back. It's probably not going to be my last rant about this Francisco Rodriguez thing because you guys know how I feel about getting my bets right. Wonder why Shakur is bashing anyway. What did I miss? Oh, are you talking about the pound-for-pound stuff? Shakur's not the only one. Shakur is coattailing on what Bud Crawford said. If you're talking about the pound-for-pound stuff with Shakur. David. Yeah, Rambler. I'm salty. I know. Money Meech. Insane. Daniel, I agree with you, Daniel. I usually side on the air of caution. I usually want to wait, right? But I don't think we should wait on this one. Only because when have we ever watched a fight in real time and we predicted that the fighter was going to pop? You could see it in his performance. You could see that he was on something. Yeah, I did, boys be crying. I think Kativ's still going to fight. Morel, right before I went live, said he still wants to fight. Okay, let me Google this. Well, Crawford didn't bash anyway. All that I heard Crawford say was that Inoue shouldn't be above him in I think it's just about pound for pound rankings. More the Prince, I like Metcalf on that cheeky underdog. I mean, it's going on. When is Canelo and Bud are fighting? September of 2025. Bud fought EJ July of 2023. So Canelo will be his third fight since then because he fought Madrimov. But, you know, if you follow Bud's career, if you're a fan of how he goes about his work, it's nothing new. I mean, you remember when he was getting iced out, like when he was in his late 20s, he couldn't get fights. And then he gave an interview like 6 years ago to say that his plan was to build generational wealth and to be smart with the fights that he chooses. Yeah, Joseph Peters. The reason why it was noticeable for me watching Francisco Rodriguez is because I'm a strength coach. You know, one of my jobs when strength athletes hire me to help them either get ready for an event, you know, I deal with a lot of weekend warrior types down here in Sydney. So people who are in finance, stocks, CEOs, and maybe they're training for a marathon, maybe they're training for a Tough Mudder, this sort of thing. I teach people boxing from the ground up who never want to box, but I teach them the technical side. So part of my job is to have a gauge on performance based on, you know, when I'm measuring results, measuring their, you know, heart rate, measuring their time under tension, measuring their strength results on their big lifts, their squats, their deads and presses, using 1-rep maxes and using programs. So I'm noticing pace. You know, part of my eye is being able to notice pace, especially, you know, been involved in boxing since I was 7. Watching Francisco Rodriguez pace was insane. Even though he was the same age as Galal Yafai, you know, this is a guy that turned pro in 2012. And it was noticeable, mate. That's why this one stings a bit more, because of the beatdown that he put on Yafai. And especially now it's connected to Eddie. It's like this shit is premeditated. Like how is this so difficult to kind of get to the bottom of? When did a positive test get so sort of gray area on if they really did or not? Yeah, Imam's in the U.S. He lives in Sydney, though. Yeah, he's never always looked like the way he did. He looked way sharper against Galal. Everything just looked like he was younger, dude. Everything just looked like he was younger. It was insane. Dude, Rene Alvarado, mate, David, we just saw Alvarado. Alvarado's performance was insane. Yes, we'll see. I will not be, dude. Mark Rene Alvarado's name down. I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised. Give it 2 weeks. It's insane. Lara popped after Wood too. He did. Yeah, he did. Especially guys when you're, dude. Resendez, how Resendez looked on the scales. Resendez looked insane against Caleb. We'll see. We'll see, dude. It's fun. Our sport's so dirty. Our sport is cooked. It's so dirty. Fucking, you are in a blood sport. We know, it's not like we don't know what head trauma does naturally. It's not like we don't see the consequences. You know, do we have to say, you know, we don't like talking about in our sports, CTE, concussions, Parkinson's, trauma-related Alzheimer's, trauma-related degenerative, you know, brain diseases. We see it time and time again. You add performance-enhancing drugs into the mix? Fuck off, dude. Are you kidding me? Insane. Absolutely insane. And one of my favorite fighters is James Toney. And you know what I'm saying? Like, just watch James Toney give an interview from 91 and watch him speak now. It's super sad. Sugar Shane Mosley. Watch Shane speak 20 years ago. Watch Shane speak now. My point is, we already know the consequences of being a prize fighter. It already comes with its risks. All right, I missed some. You guys got me on rants. So what did I miss? David, Pedro. Are you guys? I feel like somebody's gonna drop a snack on me. I don't want to put the guy on the spot. Appreciate. Somebody about to. Are you guys? I feel like this is about to take a turn towards the snack boys. You know, I did a documentary on snack, and it got taken down on YouTube 2 years ago, and it wasn't even controversial. It was like it was a 4-part series on who Victor Conti is, Victor Conti's, you know, history with Major League Baseball, Victor Conti's federal court case, Victor Conti's pivot into combat sports, and currently the fighters who Victor Conti, Conti works for anti-doping, and so that's all my 4-part series was on. It was on YouTube, and I was just doing it from an educational standpoint. These are the facts, and it got taken down. They got taken down. It was insane. I haven't had a lot of good luck. You know, I've been creating boxing content for a few years, but it's taken me a couple years to get to this niche. The stats don't lie. I just started maybe like 9 months ago because I was just doing documentaries, but with the copyright rules and people flagging my content, I was getting copyright strikes. I got my page suspended for things that were like, YouTube wouldn't even give me an explanation. This was like 2 years ago. YouTube wouldn't even give me an explanation on why they were doing it. And I would just go to my YouTube account, try to edit a video, and it says your channel's blocked for X amount of days. I'm like, what? It took me so long to get monetized because of that. And it was in the day and age when I was doing like even the Olympic stuff, dude. I got flagged for doing the punk ass Algerian boxer Aman Khalif. I wasn't even sharing fight highlights. I was screenshotting and saying that Aman Khalif was an XY, born XY chromosome, and the channel got flagged. It was insane. So I feel safer with the stats don't lie. Over the last 9 months, a year, we haven't got any anyway. But it's weird how there's like some sort of algorithm that YouTube has or Google Analytics that runs YouTube to where they flag certain things. Bro said Zepeda will stop Shakur. Who said Zepeda will stop Shakur? What's up, Godson? I got Serrano too. Who wins, Snack or Canelo? Oh, we just call him Bud Snack now? That's the first Bud. Some of you guys just call Bud Snack, and that's what that's wild. Watching him his entire career, I don't think Bud's juicing, mate. I don't. There's certain telltale signs. I could see you see Bud slowing down. That's not supposed to sound controversial. You could see his step was a little bit. I mean, was it the move from 47 to 54? Watching the Madrimov fight, you could see him diminish a bit, and that's not me hating. He's goddamn 37 years old. He's been fighting his whole life. He came from 35. I hate that I can't even talk about that as a Crawford fan, and people get salty when I say that. You can see Crawford slowly diminishing. It happens in sports. If he was on gear, Bud's a clean athlete, dude. You could just see. I would be shocked if Crawford ever popped. I would be. Just based on then I would be like his entire persona was a lie. And I just don't think it is. He seems pretty legit. Yeah, his progression looks natural. And I respect that progression. And it is a dangerous fight. And, there's no way of getting around it. Fighting Canelo at 6'8" is a freaking dangerous fight, mate. And especially, this is like a double-edged sword as a fan of the sport. I hope to the whatever that they go out and try to box the best. I hope that there's not an unspoken agreement that they don't try to, I want to see them at their best. Yeah, but Harunian. So we have a lot of time to talk about Canelo Crawford. Yeah, we have a lot of time to talk about this fight, but I want to get to Shakur Zepeda. Do you think that Haney might lose a little bit of hand speed and foot speed? Of course he will. So I think next gen where he'll lose, I think he'll gain in durability. I think it's no secret that when he cut a shit, it's amazing he got to 35. When he was at 35, people were saying he needed to move up. When he was at 40, people were saying he was going to move up. So I think his speed and reflexes are world-class enough to still be at the top at 47. I actually expect Haney to actually just gain a little bit more durability. He just has to learn that he's safe taking a shot. Because if you watch the Ramirez fight, you can tell he's still gun-shy. The Amon Kativ Morel fight is still on as of now. Boys be crying. What did I miss? Pedro, what's the conspiracy? What am I missing here? Because we got a couple chats. 30 minutes into the live stream. This is where it gets wild. Guys, for all of you organized, believe it or not, I'm a very organized person. So having this chaos, I'm fixing it. I downloaded an app. You guys are going to be able to see all your messages, and we'll stay a little bit more organized. I think Shakur getting a decision at $1.60 is a lock, and I think the fight going the distance is a lock. Either is $1.40. I think those two of the weekend are probably going to be your safest picks. Alberto Puello, Subriel Matias. I predicted and broke that fight down. I like Puello in that fight. No, I don't think Puello's getting smashed. I don't think Matias has the feet. I don't think he has the feints. I don't think he has the versatile bag. I think Matias is a bit one-dimensional. I have David taken nootropics before. I'm talking like 2014, 2015. Technically nicotine is a nootropic in terms of if you look at stimulants, what it does to the central nervous system, focus, and how it reacts to our frontal lobe. I used to take a quadriceps mushroom, a cognitive. There's this little sector of smart pills called cognitive brain enhancers, CBEs. I used to be sponsored. My first podcast in 2015. They would send me all sort of. I was into like biohacking sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm familiar with them. Good analyzation. What's up, Gio? Appreciate you, David. Not him. At this stage of the game, pretty much the closest thing I use to a nootropic is caffeine. So I buy. Yeah, I was on them from 2015, 2016, 2017. So I bought like a couple years back. I spent, I'm very frugal in terms of like efficient with my finances. If I buy something or purchase something, it has to be functional in my day-to-day. So I spent a lot of money on this coffee machine with a bean grinder. So one of my favorite things to do, I'm a freaking nerd, guys. I'll go on the weekend to like, open air markets and find coffee beans. And then I'll find beans I like and then I grind them. And then the only supplement I take right when I wake up is a double shot of those beans. So like my version of espresso, but I don't use milk, cream, or sugar. It's just black. And so that's as natural as akin to a nootropic, even though caffeine from coffee would be categorized as a stimulant, but you get the same effects. It just, the downside would be abused like anything. Coffee is known to kind of wreak havoc on your central nervous system, but this is people who are drinking like 4 or 5 a day. No, the long parlay has been active. Let's hear it. Shocker, post it. Plus 6,000. Guys, boys, we ready? We got Shocker entering the chat with a plus 6,000 parlay. Shocker, if you really like it, comment on my post and I'll share it for you. J.R. Matias, 2 different fighters, just like Alberto Puello, 2 different. Koki, so Koki, what is Matias's path to victory? My honest pick, Saucedo, is Subriel Matias or Alberto Puello to outbox Matias. I think post it, yeah. I think Alberto Puello is the better boxer. He's a slick southpaw. He's bigger than you guys think. He's a smooth operator. He can use the entire ring. He has a good jab. He impressed me against Antoine Russell. He impressed me against Sandor Martin. The issue with Matias is he's one-dimensional, and I talked about this all week. His backhand is good. It's not that he has, even though he has 100% knockout to win ratio, he doesn't have one-punch knockout power. He has what, I would call accumulative power, because his opponents, you know what it looks like when you watch a Matias fight? It looks like his opponents don't think that he could crack until it's too late. They stand and play that game with him. And this is Liam Parlo said this after the Matias fight. He said that what he wanted to do was feel Matias's power, and he said you kind of could get stuck feeling Matias's power, and then after 5-6 rounds of getting hit with the same shot, it starts adding up. Because Pero got hit a lot, but it wasn't a clean victory. I think the card said it was a split decision, but I don't think Matias has the footwork. Like I said, I don't think he has the feints, the footwork, or a plan B or C to win a fight. Yeah, Puello's a bigger puncher than people think. He's also bigger than people think. Yeah, he did have to dig deep. He does. Matias's power. That's why Matias's power is kind of scary, because you don't. It sneaks up on you. It's accumulative. Yeah, dude, and we can't forget, the Dominicans versus the Puerto Ricans in New York. It's going to be a fun fight. I expect a fun fight. Yeah, and if you look how Matias fires his right hand, somebody did a good comparison, said that it kind of looks like Artur Beterbiev's right hand. He's kind of stiff in his hips. He's kind of stiff with his torso, and it's just like short like that. Another issue I have with Matias is he gets out of position a lot. He gets off balance. He gets caught on his front foot. I think what's going to happen is Alberto Puello will probably figure him out, especially, Matias getting caught on that front foot. I think Puello wins on points. One of my favorite fights. It's not really like a fight people talk about. What's your favorite fight of all time? But for me, where I was in my life, I think I was 20 years old, watching on Puerto Rican Day in New York City, Miguel Cotto fight Paulie Malignaggi, because you had 2 young New Yorkers. One was Italian descent, one was Puerto Rican descent, and 2 contrasted styles. And Paulie, the Magic Man, came in. It was his big shot, big opportunity to prove that he was legit world class. Had his sort of Paulie D Jersey Shore hair, looking all pretty. And then I remember at the end of the fight, I had never seen a fighter start a fight looking so pretty and then looking so unrecognizable. But I got to be honest, Malignaggi took a beating against Cotto and stayed there and started winning rounds. Started winning rounds at the end of that fight if you rewatch that fight. And the crowd was goddamn insane. Puerto Rican Day Parade. You got the Puerto Ricans and Italians in Madison Square Garden. Malignaggi versus Cotto. One of my favorite fights. It went the distance. I like Trinidad versus De La Hoya too. Tito versus De La Hoya was one of my favorite fights. Obviously, Chico Corrales versus Luis Castillo. I think we know why that's one of my favorite fights. Gotti Ward won. That's an easy one. Pavlik Taylor won. That's an easy one. Koki, exactly. I get it. Yeah, I don't think I said Matias fades. It's nothing. No, they're both going to be in shape. They're both monsters at 40, guys. They're both monsters at 40. Yeah, if you guys watch Puello versus GAR, the first 3 or 4 rounds, it looked like GAR. This might be a good bet. This might be a good fight to live bet, some of you live bettors, because GAR versus Puello, the first 3 or 4 rounds, it looked like Russell was going to dog walk him, and he fought like that. It looked like he was going to dog walk him, and then Puello started figuring him out, and Russell kind of like, I think, mismanaged his gas tank, and Puello started turning it up mid-rounds and late rounds and won more rounds and won a close decision. I don't know if that's if it's going to go this way. I'm just saying that Puello does have that in his bag to win that way. Matias will try not to give Puello time to box. I don't think Puello needs to think. I think Matias's offense is so one-dimensional, to push back on your thought. I think Matias is so one-dimensional in terms of what we could expect from him. We know what he's going to do. Front foot, walk you down, put your back against the ropes, land his right hand, and keep peppering you with the jab, land his right hand. So with that, Puello have already game planned for that. He's going to use his lateral movement. I expect him to jab on the outside. I think Puello could win on the outside just like Shiraz could win on the outside, even though I'm taking Puello to beat Matias and Berlanga to beat Shiraz, because I think Shiraz is going to be too brave. He also likes fighting on the inside. He's comfortable on the inside, and I think that's where Berlanga could win that fight. I feel Puello is comfortable winning a fight from the outside. Yeah, levels. I think levels. Perfect way of putting it, boys. Guys, wherever you are, we're 42 minutes in. Could you like this video? We're going between like 50 and 70 right now on the live. Just like it if you haven't. A lot of you guys probably don't even realize you like it. Yeah, Goat. We're growing out here, Goat. Goat, we had 500 on the live stream on the weekend. So that was a high for the channel. Puello started touching GR with that lead hook. Guys, next gen, I forgot about that lead hook. And GR didn't like it. Way more disciplined than Shiraz. That was my point. Dude, we got an educated ass chat, boys. If you guys are new to the channel, you want to learn boxing, hit these live streams up, and it's not just me. Seeing that's exactly what it is. Puello is so much more disciplined. And Puello, what is he, 30 now? Maybe 31? And Shiraz has time. Shiraz is 26. But we're going to know a lot about Shiraz. I'm still not sold. And I'm not hating. I'm still not sold on Shiraz becoming a world champion. I don't know. Because I could see Shiraz's career going the other way. If Shiraz gets stopped against Berlanga, I could see his career going the other way. We'll see. I think there's a lot of holes in his game. Defensively, in his fight IQ. Sox Gaming. GR didn't get dropped in that fight. Matias and Stevenson decision. Pacheco beat Shiraz. If we're talking about Oscar, and how old's Diego now? 21, 22? If we're talking about ceilings, I don't even think Diego is close to his full potential. I think with Shiraz, we see what we're going to get. I don't know. Anyone will be a champ at 68. All right, what do we think? Goat, let me challenge that thought. Let's say in a perfect Omaha, Nebraska world, in a perfect Bud Crawford fans world, if Bud beats Canelo at 68, does Bud defend at 68? I don't see anybody talking about the next move. What does Bud do? Does he retire? What do you guys see? Let's both ways. If Crawford wins, what does he do? Does he retire? And if he loses, what does he do? Is this Bud's last fight regardless? I will, blue collar. So we're agreeing that this is this. Then we better tune in. We're watching the changing of a guard then, because a Bud Crawford comes around once a generation. Okay, so we're expecting at 37, right? 37, maybe going on 38. This is his last fight. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. His swan song, dare to be great. In his head, he's already won, no matter if he loses. So you could see him going down to 54. There are some young killers, Daniel, at 54. That was the intent of my question. Because if Crawford gets a win at 68, I don't think he defends at 68. And I don't think he wants anything to do with, 60, you got, nobody talks about Janibek Alimhanaleh. Alimhanaleh, Shiraz ducked Alimhanaleh. No one talks about that either. Yeah, Bud can fight Lara, but I think Pacquiao can fight Lara at 60. I'm joking. No shade to Erlan and Lara. Lara's been in the game forever. Lara's a beast. Yeah, I don't see Bud going to 54. There's so many killers at 54. Maybe he does walk away. I think that's the move. David, I'm not ignoring you, David. Pacheco Macumbi not to go the distance. I don't have an opinion yet on Pacheco Macumbi. Just because everything that happened with Plant right now, and I don't like how Pacheco ended the fight against Nelson. If you rewatch his last fight, Pacheco's young too. Pacheco's still developing right in front of us. I don't think Crawford will want to fight Mabili though. You know what I could see? No, what if Crawford lose? Let's say Crawford loses. What if he gives? I'm not even going to say it. What if he gives Errol a rematch at 54? Oh, he doesn't. Dude, Adames, I don't know, man. I don't want to see Bud fight these guys. He could, though. Yeah, Mabili, great. I wish I could quote him. Mabili low-key a buzzsaw. There ain't no killers if it... Eister. Leave Spencer. I know. I didn't want to say it. You think that's what Errol's way? Who knows, man? I see EJ. I posted on our channel last week. Errol last week posted like he always does. He's on family mode the last 2 years. He posts this 7-picture slide on Instagram. Carlos Vargas, appreciate the support. He posted this 7-picture slide on Instagram 2 weeks ago. Family, horses, family, cowboy hat, family, horses. And then him with the shirt off with a 6-pack. And it said, work in silence. So I'm like, and I shared that photo on our YouTube post. I put it up on the page. And I'm like, damn, he's still training. He's in shape. Do you know when I saw, who kind of reminds me? I don't know what those photo progressions are called. You see one photo and it's like 4 different photos morphing in. They're kind of like morphs. When I see who just fought, when I see Truck Simpson fight, so it's almost like I see a southpaw like Truck Simpson, and then who's the kid that Gary from 3D Boxing loves? The kid who got stopped against Shiraz. Isn't he a southpaw as well? Ammo. So when I think about EJ, I think about Truck Simpson, Ammo, Errol, and Errol being at the top. These sort of southpaws who have similar styles, similar builds, walk you down, flat-footed. Yeah, flat-footed. They really have one gear. They hit the body, put you against the ropes, and throw that overhook. I see like Errol is like the top guy, and like a little like Timo version of Errol would be like Ammo, and a Timo version of Ammo would be Truck Simpson. I don't know. That every time I see, especially lately, because we just saw Truck fight, what he does really well when I was studying his tape, when Truck is cooking, he reminds me of a little bit of what Errol Spence does. Hamza throws some good hooks and combinations. Yeah, Pudgems, I see that. Hamza does a lot of things really well. Hamza's going to be the more technical guy. He does a lot of things better than Berlanga, but in this division and with Berlanga's strengths, I don't like how Shiraz exits the pocket. I don't like how Shiraz kind of... I talked about this. Same thing with Watched Mendoza knocking out Fundora. Tall fighters will naturally hear, or MMA fans, James Vick. People hate on James Vick, but I think Vick started off 19-0 in the UFC, or 10 wins in a row in the UFC, 19-0 overall. I was at the James Vick fight in Sydney when he submitted a young Jake Matthews. I think this would have been 2015. The headliners were Luke Rockhold and Michael Bisping in Sydney. I was at that fight. So Vic, the Texecutioner, when he started getting stopped, I think the first time he got stopped was maybe Gaethje, and then he got stopped once. All he did was get stopped. But his whole thing was he would strike with you, but on his exit he'd be here, boom, go to bed. And that happened to Fundora, and I think that happens with Shiraz. I think that's going to happen with Shiraz. That's what I see, because Shiraz wants to fight in the phone booth. He loves it in the phone booth. He's willing to fight in the phone booth, and that's Berlanga's wheelhouse. Berlanga's going to have the hand speed advantage. He's going to have the power advantage. I think he's going to work the body and then go up top. I could see Berlanga putting his head on Shiraz's chest. Boom, boom. I think Shiraz's best chance of beating Berlanga is from the outside. Is at range, because Shiraz has the better jab. There's some killers at 54. I think Eister was trolling us. I mean, did his power carry? I mean, Adames started his career at 47. You know what I mean? Adames isn't the biggest 60-pounder. And we know Ammo Williams is a small 60-pounder. I think Ammo should fight at 54. Ammo could probably make 47. He would kill himself to get to 47. But I bet you Ammo doesn't cut a lot of weight to get to 60. I don't like Shiraz's balance. He doesn't look sturdy to me in his feet. He doesn't look durable. Oh, you're not trolling. You don't think 54 is that deep. All right. I like you. David Eister is a man of his word. He stands on business. Yeah, I like 54. I think in terms of depth, going from 1 to 20 on the insane box strike algorithm, I think in terms of depth, 154 is a deep division. Adames is solid. Great boxer, great skill, great technique. I'm just saying that when, we were doing boxing maths on the debate I had with Gary on 3D, and he's really high on Shiraz, and he's really high on Ammo, and he was using the Ammo victory as a reasoning for him to beat Berlanga. I think Canelo stops Shiraz. I think Canelo would stop Shiraz in 4 rounds. Maybe 7 rounds. But I think Canelo would walk Shiraz. And I think Shiraz's shortcoming against Berlanga is going to be his bravery. You have 40. 40 is a bit top heavy. 1 through 20 on 40 I don't think is as deep as 1 through 20 on 54. I think 140 is top heavy a bit. But there's guys at 54. You're like, God damn. Chino's at like 15, I think. And then Hamza was a weight bully, dude. Should be at 75. I'm wondering if his lack of defense, how he fights in spurts related to his weight cuts. 54 is a murderer's row, agree. And all them cats at 54 could crack. When you look at how the 54 guys go about their business, you know what I mean? When you look at how the boys at 54 go about their business, how they win, them boys could crack. It's a fun, and there's a lot of young guys there. It's a fun division. I don't think yeah. Jesus Ramos could crack. Oh yeah, okay. Well, we got to understand too, defensively, not all fighters are just going to stand there and shell up. Not all fighters are going to, use exits to defend. Some guys defend by clinching. Some guys' styles defend by head on the chest. So it just depends. Styles really do make fights, even from either guys getting knocked out or not getting knocked out. Some guys are super ultra durable and you just can't stop them. I think it was Kevin Johnson. I hit a 7-1. I think I hit a 7-1 last week, 2 weekends ago, on Kevin Johnson not getting stopped. because he had never been stopped, and he was fighting a guy who was 7-0 with seven stoppage victories. So the point is, there's certain styles that are made to get stopped, and certain guys that don't. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not I'm not. I'm not biting. I see people. I saw the name drop. I saw Ramos. Somebody might have did an asterisk Abel. It ain't happening, goat. It ain't happening, buddy. Puello definitely won't have an easy fight with Matias. 160 Puello lost with Akhmedov, who fights like Matias. Puello's always in close fights. You reckon Berlanga, Shakur, Serrano, Puello? Yes. P. I have that bet. I have that active bet. Exactly, 54. How come? What happened to Brandon Adams? What the hell? What happened to Brandon Adams? All right, by next week, guys, you guys will be able to see my screen. He did. He's lost. Oh, Adams has a fight coming up in August. His opponent hasn't been announced. He lost against Katsarakis. Katsarakis is a tough out. He lost to Charlo and Apollo Thompson early days. But he stopped Serhii Boachuk in the 8th round. Okay. He did. Ramos is good. Ramos kind of is a bit leaky, though. All right, so the weird box rec algorithm. We'll go at 154. Starting at 1. Crawford, Murtazaev, Virgil, Xander, Keith Thurman, Madrimov, Boachuk, Fundora, Lubin, Zhu, Ramos, Lima, Chino, Conwell, Samaki, Connor Ben, Yenis Tellis at 17, Josh Kelly at 18, Callum Walsh at 19, Pavel Suslin at 20, and then 21 through 25, Lucero, Katsarakis, Adams, Nikita Zhu, Michael Suro, Kurbanov. I think Kurbanov's the guy who lost his belt to Madrimov. Kurbanov he's 26-1. Dude, 154 is deep, boy. 154 is deep. It's insane. They still got it. Yeah, any division once you get into the 30s is pretty insane. Yeah, boys, wherever you are, let's like this video. Pay attention to the channel. In about an hour, you guys are going to get my upload of Matias versus Puello, my upload and breakdown. Yeah. I mean, Xander versus Chino. Guys, if you follow my Instagram, I put on my Instagram story Xander Zayas yesterday hitting the pads. Dude, how much weight does Xander cut? I think Xander's probably going to end up fighting at 68 before it's all said and done. Dude, I was just talking to my client last night about pigs in the blanket. Me too. I'm a Chino fan after I saw that Conwell fight. How do you like a Vargas? I'm not a believer in Callum Walsh yet, boys. I'm not a believer in him. I'm not sleeping on Xander. I'm not sleeping on Xander. Xander's young. He's married to the game. He's, physicality, technical, hungry. He ticks all the boxes. That kid is on the verge of being a star. Well, Koki, go to his Instagram. This is the video I shared. You can see him working on that here. And he has his hair's long right now too. We always see Xander with a buzz cut. His hair's, I do watch Pro Box. They have good fights. Did somebody just say 160 is a wasteland? That's hilarious. Let's go to 160. All right, Eister, you think 140 is deeper than 54? Let me go to 60 first. By this time next week, I'll have the screen up so you guys can see my screen. I'm still learning how to do that, but I have the software just to let you know. All right. 160 pounds. Because 160 used to be a murderer's row. I'm talking when, you know, my boy Pavlik was fighting, like 2007, 2008. So 160, Alam Hanalei, Landy Lara, Chris Eubank Jr. is 3. Carlos Saddam is 4. Aaron McKenna, no one talks about. McKenna looked good in his last fight against Beefy. Ammo's at 6. Olia's at 7. Michael Zarafa's at 8. Slawas, yeah, 60. 60 is a 60 is a wasteland. Oh my God. Troy Isley's in the top 20. They got Yenli at 21. I think Yenli Hernandez. I would put Yenli. I mean, he only has 8 pro fights. Caesar Tapia, Mateo Tapia from Sydney. He's kind of a dark horse at 60. But he fought life and death against who was it? Endry Saavedra, which is a tough fighter. Saavedra's a tough fighter. Yeah, I stand on it. I would debate anyone. 50. It's no shock. I'm not reinventing the wheel. 154 is the division. 154 is ridiculous. 40's top heavy. 35 is top heavy. Somebody name dropping Dimitri Pirog. He was one of my favorite fighters. Man, Dimitri Pirog. I always when we talk Pirog, we always got to go back to that Danny Jacobs fight for me. Dude, the way he moved, dude, everything he did, it's kind of like they built him in a lab. Hernandez versus Kazakhstan. You giving a live? Yeah, I'm Skeezy. I'm gonna do a live again later. I have to. It's 8:15. This live is just past an hour, guys. I have to upload Matias versus Puello. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna be live in about 4 hours, 5 hours. If you haven't already, like this video, guys. There's a new feature on my channel. If you could afford it, it's a couple bucks a month. Johnny Says Boxing Insider. What that's going to allow me to do for moving forward, you guys don't have to go to a Patreon. You guys don't have to sign up to a separate thing. You could stay on YouTube, support the channel a couple bucks a month, and you'll get VIP features, locks of the week. You'll get, if you want me to feature a specific video fight just for you, posts just for you, all content separated. So if you can help the channel out, that's awesome. If not, it's all good. Make sure you subscribe. We're over an hour, and there's 71 people in here. I appreciate you. Stay tuned to the channel. We got a busy day, busy week, busy weekend. Let's get that paper.